Today's video is going to be about using my protected little box that Oliver gave me. Thank you. We're going to set up Adguard on that, and we're going to set up a basic little home network. I got a lot of people saying, hey, can you do a quick little video? Maybe not quick, but a video on how to set up one of these boxes to do a home network with some camera network, an IoT network, and a maybe guest network. So we're going to do that today. But first, I want to say thank you to Rich at Two Guys Tech for sending me this jacket. This thing is awesome. I've known Rich for maybe about a year now, and we communicate a lot, and he's given me some really good advice for my channel. Thank you very much for that. So because of that, I'm going to drop his YouTube channel below. You guys should go subscribe and look at his content because he makes wicked content. I really like his stuff, and he's got good advice. Let's jump into the video. As you can see here, we have a basic network. There's no setup on this at all. I'm actually routing through it right now. It's double natted, but that's because I'm not going to put it on the network for everybody. And I want to thank Matt from a website, this guy right here. He set up Adguard, and I want to show you guys how to do that. But first, we want to set up on the networks and the stuff on the firewall. The first thing we want to do is go over to interfaces. We want to create some VLANs. I also using my favorite Edge Switch 8 PoE over here. Love this switch. I'm going to be lost of sleep if I ever lose that thing, because that thing has been my right hand switch for everything, doing my labs and stuff like that. If that dies, maybe sooner, I'm going to pick up another Ingenious switch because I really like those. But anyways, let's jump in here. So we have to set up a bunch of networks here on this device. Let's do that. So we want to go to interfaces, other types, VLAN. We want to create a bunch of VLANs. The first one we're going to create is, we won't put this one in here. We have to make sure we select the right network interface. We're going to go LAN. We're going to call this VLAN tag 10. And we're going to call this, what did we say here? Let's go IoT. Okay. And then we're going to create another one since we're in here. We're going to call this LAN VLAN tag 100. We'll call this guest. Okay, save, and we'll do one more. LAN, we'll call this 99, and we'll give this description of camera. Okay, we have our 3 VLANs plus the other networks. We have 4 networks here. As we're in here, so we have to go now and we have to define them. Assignments. So we should be able to go here, add, next one, add, save. Wait a couple seconds. Now we should give them their IP addresses. So now we can see over here we have all our camera, guest, and IoT. So let's go to IoT first. We'll go enable, prevent accidental removal, configuration type, static IPv4, and this always caught me right here. This right here always caught me. So I'm just going to do a flat network, nothing special. I'm not going to do any subnet calculators. We're just going to leave it as a flat, wide open. So we'll give this one 192.168.10.1 basic. Save. Apply. And then we'll go do the guest network. We'll enable it, prevent it from being removed, right? And we'll go back to static. Select our 24. We're going to give this one, let's see here, what did I write down? Guest was 10.0.0.9. Oh, sorry, 10.0.9.1. Sorry, and then we'll go save. Done. And then IoT. What did we give IoT? IoT was going to be guest, camera. We haven't done the camera. Let's do IoT. Oh, IoT is 10. Sorry. Forgot to do camera. I'm looking at my notes and doing this at the same time. And okay, so let's go reverse. Static. And we wanted to go 24. The camera network was 192.168.99.1. 24. Save. Apply. Okay, we have the network done. The interfaces are named and they have their IP addresses. Now we need to give them a DHCP scope. So we'll go to Services, DHCP, and if you'll notice on the side here, we have our networks here, right? So let's go to camera first, since it's the top of the list. We're going to enable the DHCP scope, and then it says right here what the IP address range could be, but we're going to make it a little bit smaller. Like, we don't really need a wide open 255 subnet full of IP addresses. So we're going to go 192.168.99.100 to 192.168.99.50, or sorry, 150. 50 IP addresses for a camera, and you can trim that to be smaller, bigger, and stuff like that. And if you really want to get fancy, you can go into a subnet calculator and use, instead of a /24, you can do 32, 36, whatever pertains to how many IP addresses you want. Just remember, you always want one or two more just in case. Just in case. So DNS, we'll give it 192.168.99.1, same as the gateway, so we'll copy that. And then we'll go gateway, we'll go here. So we got that one done. We don't need to do anything else here. Nope, save. Okay, now let's do the guest network. Pretty easy. We'll enable DHCP, so we'll go here. We'll go desk network. So let's go 10 to 100, just in case. We could have 100 guests, but I highly doubt it. So DNS, we'll give it the same DNS. Gateway, we'll give it the same. There's a reason why I'm doing this, and I'll tell you that why after. Hold on. Our addresses. Save. Okay. And let's go into IoT and do that one now. So the IoT, I'm going to copy this. Yes, I'm lazy. And we're going to go from let's go 150 to 199. Okay. DNS, 10, gateway, 10.1, and save. Done. So, in theory, I forgot to push enable, sorry. Save. So in theory, we have our 4 networks. We have camera, guest, IoT, and LAN. Now, what we want to do is we want to create an RFC 1918 rule, so that way these guys can't talk to each other or to the main network. Let's do that since we're on the path here. So I believe we have to go to firewall, aliases, and we have to create one, and we want to call this networks, name, RFC 1918, categories, and contents. So what we want to do is we want to go, okay, now we can go do that. My apologies. Firewall, aliases, add, RFC, C1918. This is the rule you want, so that way VLANs can't jump back and forth and stuff like that. We'll create an allow all rule, and you guys can tailor that later on. I might do one later. So categories, content. So we're going to go, oops. Let's move this over so I can see it. Still getting used to my screen here. So content. I can just copy this in there. Let's be lazy. Here. Oh. Oh yeah, I did it. Probably because I copied a space. Here. Comma. Here. Control C. V. And we're going to call this RFC 1918. Save. Done. So we got the rule, we got that RFC 1918 rule. Now we have to go into our firewall rules and create our allow rules, and then we're going to put this one in there. The reason why we do that is because right now no traffic can get in and out of the network or go anywhere because there's no rules, right? Default. So let's check out our firewall rules, and let's go to the main LAN one. So we already have the default rule that when you create the firewall and set it up, it's already there. Now we have to do that for the other ones. So let's go camera. Let's do the camera one first. With this, we're just going to create a anything rule to get you online, and you guys can start tweaking that because everybody's networks changed. But if we add the RFC 1918, at least that'll give you some protection so you can't jump around to other ones, and then you can tailor it, right? So we're just going to leave this all default. We're going to call this camera dash default. So you can find it in the list later on. We'll go save. This can allow you to go out and do whatever you want. We'll apply it. Now the camera network will work, but we want to add the RFC 1918 rule in here because we're in here, so we're not going to jump around too much. So we'll go add. We're going to go block and protocol, this network, and source. We're going to click up. Sorry, it's down on my mouse. And then we're going to go to destination, RFC 1918, and then that's it. We're going to go block dash networks. Okay, save. We also have to move this around. So what we do is we go here, because right now it'll allow everything to go through because the rule is in the wrong order. So I believe if I push, I always get this wrong. If I push the top arrow, this should switch these around. Yeah? Yes. Apply. So now you will not be able to, you can go out to the internet, but you won't be able to jump around and go anywhere else. Okay? So let's repeat that to the other networks here. Guest. We're going to add our all rule. Guest dash default. Allow. This is just a wide open rule, like I said. And then we're going to add the other RFC 19. So we'll go block. All our direction. So we'll go source. I mean, if you're quick, you could type it in there, but I can find it in the list because it's at the very top. Okay. Block. Network. Apply. Easy. Okay. And we got one more. So IoT. You don't want to do it on the LAN because that might be your private network, your default network that maybe as if home lab works off of or whatever and stuff like that. Okay. Don't need to add this rules to that. So we'll go past because this is default network. And I'll say it again. It's a wide open network. I understand that. I know. Add our RFC. Block. This one. Here. Block network. Oh, I forgot my dash. Dash network. Save. And apply. We have our rules and our IP addresses, and we have our subnets. We have everything working right now. Let's see if we can get that working first. Let's log into my favorite switch here. Oh, it's already logged in. Okay. So let's go to look at our VLANs. So we should have 10, 100, and we'll add 99. Okay. Port number 1 is going to my test machine way over there. I should be able to see it online, but also get access to it. So let's go with this. Port 1 is sitting at VLAN 10. VLAN 10 should be a 192.168.10 address. We can verify that by going to our firewall and going to services, DHCP, and leases. We should see that machine right there. Let's confirm that. 10.150? Let's see. 10.150 right there. Can it reach the internet? Let's see. Let's go cancel. Here. Tom's hardware not working? Tom's hardware is working. So if I plug in my Mac, which is on the default VLAN, it will be working too. That's working. So that's on the default VLAN because we can see my Mac right there. Okay, so those are all working. Now what we want to do, the main whole point of this video also is to show you guys Adguard. Let's see if I can mess this up. So Adguard will allow you to block ads and stuff like that on the network. And the way I'm going to set it up is pretty easy. And we're going to thank Matt for doing a really nice how-to of doing this. So before we do anything, we have to turn off unbound DNS because it just doesn't like working with that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go enable, and we're going to disable that. It's the first thing you have to do because when you go through the wizard, it just freaks right out. It doesn't like that. Then after that, we have to enable SSH because we have to SSH into our firewall and run a command. Pretty easy. So let's do that. So this is Matt's website. I'm going to put a link to that in the video below. Very good video, but also good documentation and pretty good guy to email back and forth too, because I emailed him saying, hey, I had a problem doing this, and he wrote back right away. So kudos to that. That's awesome to see that. So let's go to system. Where was that under? Configuration. Nope, that's under settings. Administration. We have to turn on this. So we need to enable the secure shell. And we want to permit root because we're going to log in as root. We're going to permit root login with the password to log in. But we're not going to give it all interfaces. And if you ever leave this on because you need to do certain things, just make sure you have it on the one network that you want it to be managed by. Don't click all of them. So we're going to use LAN, which is the default LAN. Then we'll go save. Wait a couple seconds till the save's gone. It's done. Now, I haven't changed the password because I didn't want to keep copying and pasting the password. So root OPNsense will get us in. So let's go like this. I'll make this bigger. There we go. We can see this. So SSH space -L root. And then our default IP address, which is the gateway, 192.168.1.1. And it might complain because I might have done this before already. Oh, no, it hasn't. Yes. Okay, we're logged into it with root, but we can't just run the command like this. We have to actually look at the list here. So list says if you want to get into shell, we could do that. So we want to click 8, enter. Now we can run our command. So what we do is we hop over to Matt's page here. We're going to copy this. Then we'll go back to our command prompt. And notice, before I do this, under services on this firewall, Adguard's not installed on here. So we're going to do that. And we'll go like this and go paste. Done. So now Matt says we should do an update. I never did the update, but let's do that. Package, PKJ, update. As we can see, it's updating its catalog. Done. So now what we have to do is go into OPNsense and enable it. So we go to System, Firmware, Plugins. Okay. So we're going to click the plus and install Adguard Maxit. So we'll click plus. We already know that it's from an external vendor because we want to install it. So we'll click install. This doesn't take very long to install. Done. Install. Now we just get to configure it. So we have to hop on over to our IP address, 192.168.1.1, port 3000. And it's not typing, so start again, 192.168.1.1, semicolon, 3000. Oh, it's not going to work first. It's installed, but now I forgot to enable it. So we go to services. We have to refresh first. Let's click on the little logo at the top here. Sorry. Services, Adguard, general, enable. Makes sense. Save. And it should be running. And if we go here, there we go. Now we get to walk through the basic setup. It's pretty easy. So we're going to go get started. We're going to listen to this on our default VLAN or our default LAN. We don't want any of the other VLANs and everything else listening to this. We only want one network. And we're going to change this to 3000 because that's what I like. 3000. And then we're going to make sure this is set to all interfaces. The reason why for that is so that way all the interfaces can be protected, right? Also, just so you know, after we're done all this, we're going to add another network and we're going to put it into, and we're going to edit the YAML configuration. So we're going to go like this. Keep it here. Next, I'm going to keep it the same username and password as the actual OPNsense box. Maybe it'd be a good idea to change it to something else that you know. So we're going to go root, OPNsense. Never. Next. Done. And we're working. And I can prove that we're working because if I go over there to that machine over there, let's go to Tom's hardware, which is full of ads. And if we refresh this page, we should see something. Look at that. See that? Working. Out of the box this works, but there's tons of other filters and lists and stuff like that. So let's go settings. I believe there's, where was that? DNS. We want to enable DNSSEC. Push OK. The default upstream DNS servers works just great. There's an HTTP in there, so we can do that. Oh, there's an update. So let's click update. Make sure we have that latest version. Just like that, it's updated. So if we go to DNS block lists, with Pi-hole, they give you a bunch of lists too. This one does the same thing. So if we go add block lists and go choose from the list, it gives us a nice pile of them. So let's select all of these just for giggles. And then, sure, we'll give them all. What do we got here? Gaming console, new Google, Windows spyware blocker. Hey, yes. And then we'll give security, phishing, anti-malware, no coin scam. We'll just select them all because we can. You guys can tailor your own, whatever you want. As we can see, it successfully added them. Now we got a whole bunch of pop-ups, so I'm just going to close all these. And then we'll update it. I think it updates it when it's installed, so it should be fine anyways. Now we have all those in there. We'll go back to our Adguard. Let's go to another, see, Tom's hardware. We refresh the page, but also check one of these other little websites. Tons of little ads and stuff like that. Notice how the page looks a little bit cleaner. If we refresh this, we're already blocked 56 ads. So pretty easy to set up. Now, wait. What happens if you want to add another network to your configuration? Say you have a second guest network, or maybe we didn't put in the camera network in there, but hey, you want to separate your camera networks. Let's create a test network. The basic. We'll go to services. No, it's not services. Interfaces, other types, VLAN. We're going to call this a test network, and we're just going to give it whatever, right? So we'll go LAN, tag, 199, description, test dash network. Okay. We'll go OK. Apply, because if we don't apply it, it won't be there. We'll add that. And then we have to go to the actual and give it an IP address. We have to walk through all this so I can show you that it's going to work. And then we'll give it a 24, 192.168.199.1. And we have to go to DHCP, so we go services, DHCP, there's our test network, enable it. We'll just give it a basic one, so we'll go 50, basic. And we'll copy this here, DNS, gateway here, save. we'll do the rule, might as well, because if we forget, it won't work. So firewall, rules, test network. We'll give it both those other ones so we can make sure it's all proper. Pass, default rule. Okay. And then we'll give it our RFC. Hey, I clicked plus. Add. Block. Source. Oops. Here. Block rule. Oh, I spelled that right. Okay. And then we'll go apply. Now, the easy part, maybe hard, easy, we have to SSH back into our box. And I just rebooted the box, so I got logged out. So if we go back to here, and we have to go back to 8. Okay, we're in here. Now, I'm going to go back to Matt's page. Thank you again, Matt. The very bottom of the page, it says how to edit this. We need to go to this location right here and edit that file. Okay, so let's bring this down so I can see it. So we want to go edit/usr/local/shift Adguard, and then Adguard home.yaml edit. In the list, it says bind hosts. Right now it's sitting at 0.0.0, but you know what? I'm going to change all this. Forgot to put the normal default LAN. Oh, and I'm not going to put the space in there. I'll go this and go escape, leave, save. My bad. So services, Adguard, general, play. That's what it was. Exactly what it was. Once I looked at that. So we'll save, go back to lobby, dashboard. Everything's working now. I mean, pretty simple. I don't know if you guys knew about this idea. I don't like seeing stuff that's red and stuff that I don't really need to see. Watch this. We'll see here. This, comma, save. Aha! And let's add a widget since I'm here. I want to see thermal, traffic, interface. Done. Let's move this over here. Save. Okay, long enough video for you guys from a basic network all the way up to multiple VLANs, networks, subnets, and all that stuff. If you have any questions or comments, or there's a link below to email me, and we'll go from there. Sorry it was a long video, but setting up a firewall from scratch really isn't that simple. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later.